Supporting Black Authors, hosted by Minister Deborah Davis. Family, friends, authors, writers, creators, this is where you are welcome. Featuring the author of My Daddy, the Devil and Me, Minister Deborah Ann Davis. Available now for you online at www.mydaddythedevilandme.com. Supporting Black Authors Book Club. Find us on Facebook at Supporting Black Authors, where innovative and uplifting book reviews and celebrity guests all come together as one to uplift each other and an awesome word. Hosted by Minister Deborah Davis. Supporting Black Authors. Check us out this month for upcoming celebrity guests, featuring live interviews, referrals to media outlet, and even your book promoted for 1 week. Join us Tuesday, October 27th for a live event featuring Matthew Mills. Join us for our book review featuring Daddy's Girl, The Ultimate Covering by visionary author Angela Vett Williams Hawkins, as well as He Chose Me, The Journey to Yes by Stephanie Smith, forward by Dr. Kishma George, and Standing on Trial, I Need You to Survive by Gwendolyn Lester Carson. Also remember to check out Addiction, a book by Robert Reddick III. Featured on Supporting Black Authors, host Minister Deborah Davis was featured on iHeartRadio's Conversations Live with Cyrus Wells. Diary of a Masquerade by M. Queenie Green, featured on Supporting Black Authors. Come and join our book club on Facebook, live weekly Tuesday, where you can find support, love, live interviews, referrals to media outlets, and even promotional marketing advice and guidance for your new book. Supporting Black Authors. That's online book. Come and fellowship with us, guys. I'll meet you guys there. Awesomely hosted by Minister Deborah Davis. DM us for more information.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Supporting Black Authors Book Club. I am your host, Minister Deborah Davis, coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube, where I do every Tuesday night with an awesome author. And tonight we have an awesome author, Minister Stephanie S. Smith, the author of He Chose Me. Let me just tell you a little bit about Minister Stephanie. Minister Stephanie Smith, she's an author, she's a coach, she's a minister, an inspirational speaker, and educator. She's passionate about women empowerment and inspiring others to be okay with who God created them to be. She received a Bachelor of Science degree in Communication Science and Disorders. Minister Stephanie holds a certificate in organizational leadership and organization, and currently pursuing her master's in applied psychology with a specialization in development psychology. She is a part of the National Society of Leadership and Success and enjoys connecting and building with other emerging leaders. Minister Stephanie believes that her educational background, experience, spiritual background played a major part in who she is today. She is the author of her book entitled He Chose Me, The Journey to Yes. This book takes you through Stephanie's personal journey to yes, to encourage others to stay the course and not be ashamed of their process to get them positioned for purpose. Minister Stephanie is empathetic, she's engaging, she's passionate, she's knowledgeable, she's an inspirational speaker who's not ashamed of letting people know where she came from and who she belongs to. Minister Stephanie's passion and love for God inspired her to move forward in her yes to God and has found joy in being chosen and set apart. She's confident in her calling and purpose and desires to empower others to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others Minister Stephanie Smith, the author of He Chose Me, A Journey to Yes. Hi, Minister Stephanie. Hello, welcome to
Hello,
Support
how are
Authors
you?
Book Club. How are
Thank
you
you
this
for
evening?
having me.
You're
I'm
welcome. You're
doing
welcome.
great.
Good, good. I read your bio. I kind of ran through it. I know I left some stuff out. You did a lot. You've done a lot, and most of the time bios are lengthy, but I did leave stuff out. So if there's something that I did leave out that you would like the listeners, our viewers, to know about. Tell them now about something that I did not share out of your bio.
I'm the founder of Basic Enterprises. It is a ministry that inspires women to be bold, authentic, secure, inspired, and courageous. These were some attributes that God took me through my personal journey to overcome. So each acronym was something that I had to go through and to be free from. And so God later on gave me this ministry to push to birth out, other women who are going through different things similar to what I've gone through.
Amen. I
Emotional.
did read that. Yes, I did read that in the bio. I wanted to read it all, but
It's okay.
and is there anybody before, I'm going to ask you some questions, but first I want to welcome our viewers to Supporting Black Authors Book Club. If you have a comment or question, please feel free, put it in the comment, and we will be sure to take your comment or your question. Minister Stephanie, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to or anyone you'd like to thank?
I want to give a shout out. I think I saw my mom. Give a shout out to my friends and family that are tuning in. Would like to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Kisma George, um, who helped me and pushed me in, rebirthing this baby out. Thankful for my spiritual leaders, and that's it. Thank you.
Good. That's good. Sometimes we forget to thank people and
Yeah.
include other people in our books. So let's talk about He Chose Me, A Journey to Yes. I did not get the book. I usually hold the book up. My book hasn't come yet, but I did get the PDF. So I was able to read. There it is. Yes, yes, that's it. And so I want to talk to you a little bit. I want to talk about chapter 1, self-discovery. That to me was a very important chapter, self-discovery. And when I'm interviewing my guests, I try not to speak about my own journey and things that happen, but sometimes I have to include myself, especially about self-discovery. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. You say that you were aware of God's love, but had never experienced it on the inside. Let's talk about that. How you were aware of your family and friends and their love, but you were not aware of the love that you possessed inside of you.
So, okay, when I talked about that, or when I shared it, how when you grow up, you've been taught about God's love, growing up in church, doing those things. And as I got older, it was more of, I would say, a responsibility because we're not children anymore. So
Mhm.
it was something that I was developing and wanting to just look for. But there was an emptiness that I felt. I love God with all my heart. I served Him wholeheartedly, and it was just something that I was missing. And so I experienced God love. I experienced His love even when I got saved and filled with the Holy Ghost. But like I said before, when I got older, there was something that I was searching for, but I found it in other, thinking that I would find it in other people when it was
Yes.
really something that I was supposed to find in with God. And so throughout self-identity, that was something that God took me through, because I felt all these emotions. I battled with, different things, not loving myself, depression, and, not feeling good enough, and, having low self-esteem, which not many people really knew that was something that I dealt with. But I was very low in my self-esteem and in my confidence and in my boldness. And so a lot of those things created a wall. And so not knowing that I was pushing God away, but also bringing him close to me, that there was a wall that I had up to even receive God's love. And so throughout that journey, that was something that God took me through. When it came to relationships, God revealed those things that I put first, those things that I was seeking validation from, instead of going directly to him. And so
that's understandable. Yes, that's understandable, because when you talk about self-discovery and you talk about self-love, I can talk about that with you, because when you have the low self-esteem and you feel like everybody has turned their back on you and you don't know who can run to, and sometimes we can't depend on family, and we're looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many places. I know, I've been there, and it's, to me, it's like, how can you give something that you don't possess yourself? How can you even give it to you if you don't have it? So I love that chapter when you talk about that, and you became aware of God's love you because you knew who God was. Talk about that, because you were raised in the church. You were raised in the church. Now you have a lot of people that are not raised in the church, but you knew that there was a God. So let's talk about that.
Okay. Just growing up in church, knowing about God, loving God, and living that life, it was just something that, when you get older and you're mature, and you become aware of being responsible for your actions, and that's something that you would have to deal with between you and God. And so when I realized that, it had nothing to do with my family, it had nothing to do with my friends, but it was my relationship with God. And so it was something, just this going through that journey, to understand that this man, this God that I serve, who created me, he laid down his life for me. He gave his life for me. And so just reading and studying the word and understanding, how God, died on the cross for our sins.
Right.
It was something, it was like an aha moment. Like, this man, you're out here chasing people, you're chasing relationships, who would never do what he has done. And so that was something that it changed my whole perspective. And
although you was created in the image and likeness of God, and you knew that, and you wanted to portray his attributes and his characteristics, you say in your book that you still felt lacking, you still felt ugly, you still felt unworthy, you still felt useless, and not seeing the value that God had placed in you. So we want to talk about what that's like, to know that there's a love that is an unconditional love, and that God has that unconditional love, but you can't grasp it because you're still feeling all those negative attributes. Let's talk about that. When you were there, let's talk about how that felt to you, Minister Stephanie.
So when I was in that place, it was very overwhelming. It kept me in a very stagnant place. It kept me in a neutral place of, just feeling ugly on the inside, but really battling with rejection, battling with emotion. And a lot of times, rejection didn't always come from a boyfriend situation. It was something that I dealt with, rejected from family, rejected from friends, people. It was just something that created a world of emotion that kept me in a place where I couldn't allow myself to think even the way that think like God, or to even look at myself the way that God looked at me. And so once I understood the principles and understood how God truly felt and
Yes,
understood the
yes,
attributes that God created beauty, that I'm beautiful regardless of my flaws, and
yes.
I allow people to stamp my worth. And so that's
Right,
what
right, exactly. That's what we
I
do.
didn't move forward until I was free from them.
Yeah, that's what we do. We often worry
Mhm.
about what others say, worry about what others think about us, and lose out on the real purpose that God has for us. We have a
Yeah.
question that we're going to take.
Okay.
Gwen Washington, she said, what happened to you to realize it was God's love? What did you experience?
So the experience, and it's definitely an experience. It was an experience where I felt I got to a place where I really, really almost gave up, didn't have any strength. It was just like, God, I surrender my all to you. I just need to feel revived again. And it was really a supernatural experience that took over, where God reminded me that He was always there and that He had never left my side, regardless when I felt like I wasn't loved, that His love is unconditional, like
Yes,
regardless. And so just being able to study and to praying God to pray, and that was a life where I really had to just be consistent in praying and understanding and experiencing God's supernatural powers, experiencing His
yes,
deliverance,
yes.
which was something that really helped mend my heart together. And
That's
so that was
awesome.
something. It was definitely an experience. It is an experience.
That's an awesome answer. I read also in your book that you were broken. You needed to be healed, but you knew that you had to make some changes
Mhm.
because you knew that God needed you more than you needed yourself. Now, when I think about when we say that we needed to make some changes, I've heard people say, if I could just get myself together, I'll come to God. If I
Yeah.
could just change this about myself, I'll come to God. But there's some things we just cannot do ourselves.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you said that you knew that God needed you more than you needed you. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Let's share with our viewers what you meant by that.
So what I meant by that was, when I finally got to that place and understanding that, God's purpose, when you understand your purpose and you find out who you really are, and you understand the importance of your purpose and the things that God has placed inside of you, because we're here because God put us on this earth to do a work. And it has nothing to do with us. So when I finally got that revelation, it was just like, okay, God, I really know, I really understand. It really was a place where I had to just be obedient.
Aha
So I had to let some stuff go. And so when God told me, prior to let those things go, I didn't. So God started removing and cutting toxic relationships. He started really moving things out the way so that He can be the center of my attention, and that He can get the glory and move forward in what He needed me to do.
And you remember in your book it says that you remember the day you told God that you were tired. You had
Mhm.
no joy. You had nothing to show emotionally. You were emotionally drained. I'm saying it like that because I know that space. I'm sure a lot of not just women, but men,
Yeah,
we all have been in that place where we're
yeah,
just sick and tired of being sick and tired, just fed up and emotionally drained.
right.
And you said in your book that you remember the day that you told God that I'm just sick and tired. I'm emotionally drained. It's like people when they just come and they just fall and they just say, I surrender it all to you, God. The word says, come unto me, all you that labor heavy laden, I will give you rest. And then you knew the word. So now I want you to talk to somebody that wasn't raised in the church, somebody that did not know God, that do not know God, and they're in that place where you were emotionally drained, bitter, just want to give up, just want to quit. Let's talk to somebody that does not know God somebody watching, a viewer that's watching right now that does not know God, and they're in that place where you were. Let's talk to them.
I would say anyone that is experiencing anything emotionally where you feel drained or where you feel like there's no more to what you're experiencing. I just pray that you really take some time to just find God, say a prayer, whether you give your life to Christ, because you're going to need Him. You can't do this by yourself. You can't do this on your own. And so you have to get to that place where when you do say enough is enough, you have to understand what you are letting go of, what is no longer, even when those things are pulling on you to let go. You gotta let it go, and you can't walk in fear. You can't be fearful, even when you don't know what's next. But to just have faith, and trust God, because He, whether you know Him or not, He knows you, and so He knows where you are, and all you have to do is just reach out to God and ask God to help you, and God will do the rest. He will do the rest.
Yes, He will. That is so true. And I love how you took in God's unconditional love. See, what people really don't understand is that God has unconditional love, where people put conditions. I'll love you if.
Yeah.
I'll love you if you this way. I'll love you if you do this for me, or if you do. But when it comes to unconditional, how many people like sometimes we believe that our parents love us unconditionally, and then there's times where they don't love you unconditionally. I don't know if that we could say that there is someone that can really love you unconditionally like God can love you.
Yeah.
That unconditional, that real love, that deep love, and that's how you know He's real. That's how you know that He exists. That's how you know He's true, because you can feel His presence and you can feel His love, and that's when that real joy comes in. You talk to us. Tell us about that real thing, just like even if when we go shopping, we don't want that fake Gucci bag. We want the real Gucci bag. We want the real thing. We don't want that fake stuff. And it's just like love. And we as women, and I just want to talk for a minute, Minister Stephanie, that we do look for love in all the wrong places, but when we come to God and we give our all to God, and we find out what our purpose is in God, and we realize that we were chosen. That's why I love your book. I love it. He chose me. You say He chose me. I like that, because when we don't understand everything that God brought us through, and ask the question, why did I have to go through everything? And then the answer He gives you is because you're chosen for such a time as this. You're coming holy, and you're telling everybody, because even I just want to read, even in your bio, where you talk about how you were experiencing some things in your life where you were struggling from moving forward, and God wanted you to get back to the basics. I like that. I like how you founded this enterprise, and you call it BASIC, the basics. He wanted you to get back to the basics, and tell the viewers what the basics stands for.
So the basic stands for bold, authentic, secure, inspired, and courageous. Yes.
Say that again.
So bold, authentic, secure, inspired, and courageous.
That's back to the basics. I love it. 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 So we have a comment here from Lindsay Hawkins. She says He will oftentimes give you an anointing in areas you have walked through and conquered. Your deepest valleys are usually necessary to sanctify your heart for the mountaintop. That's huge right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's you. Let's talk about that, Miss Stephanie.
So when I think, well, and that's one of my friends, Lindsay. But when the thing that I went through that graced me and anointed me, just similar with what Lindsay said, was relationship. And I
Mm-hmm.
talk about that in one of the chapters. It was something that I needed to work on, because when I compared it to the relationships that I had been in, trying to strengthen certain relationships and putting them first before I put my relationship first with
Oh
God.
yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
experienced a lot of heartbreak. I experienced a lot of turmoil and
Yeah.
disappointment in my relationship. And so God said that He was going to take me through a journey of my relationship with Him, so that I can be ready for whatever relationship He has for me.
That's so
And He
good, girl.
will.
That's good. That is just so good right there. You have to deal with you first.
Yeah.
We have to get ourselves together, not us, but give ourselves to God so He can get us together so we can be ready for someone else. Because that's
Yeah.
what makes our relationships important. You had been set apart, but you didn't like it. You said you didn't like it because it wasn't fun. You know,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
submitted. You submitted, but
Mhm.
you have to tell our viewers that although you say it wasn't fun, you got to fix this a little bit because we want young
Yeah,
people
I do.
to know that it's something good here, a lot of good here, because he says his yoke is
Yeah.
easy and that his burden is light,
Yeah.
and it can be fun. So talk about that just a little bit. Just a little bit. Talk about that.
So I had said when I wrote that it wasn't fun, I felt like at that time it was a very transparent. I'm sorry, moment that I shared of what I was feeling. It was something that, not saying that I was ashamed of anything, but it was something that I
Uh-huh.
just didn't like, because I felt like I was always getting attacked, or it was always a hard flow for me. And I know
Wow.
people go through that now, where they feel like the enemy's always after them, or they're always going through warfare and stuff like that. But it happens for a reason. So it's like, you have to go through those things so that you can be equipped and ready for your purpose. And so I didn't understand that at the time. And I told God, I don't like this. I don't like being set apart, or I don't like, and that was in a place where I didn't understand my value. I didn't appreciate my worth, and my confidence was low, and I was very fearful. So those things kept me, in that place of, I don't
That's
want to
why.
be set apart.
Yeah,
I don't,
that's why
let
you
me
said
be like
it wasn't
somebody
fun. It wasn't
else.
fun.
Yeah,
Like
but
I said,
it's
take me
definitely a good
back.
journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yes, it is. And it takes me back because sometimes they think it's a lot of rules and the Bible has too many rules and you can't do
Mhm.
this, you can't do that. But once you really, really dig into the word, read the word for yourself, He will apply that word to you, will jump off the pages and it will apply to you and fit into
Yeah.
your life. Minister Stephanie, we're coming to the end of the interview. Our interviews are 30 minutes long, but I want you to tell everybody, hold your book up, let them know where they can get your book, and tell them exactly two places I think that they can get the book. Oh, I know you can get it here. I put up your website.
Yeah. So it's up on the website now. At www.stephaniesmith.com. It will be available in the ebook on the 30th of this month, on Amazon and on my website as well. So you can look forward to that for my ebook readers, and it'll be up there for that.
And I know that the interviews are 30 minutes long and we cannot cover the entire chapters in your book. So
Mhm.
I mean, look, I always tell everybody that we got to come back, do a part two. You are a lovely, beautiful girl. And
Thank you.
I'm just grateful for where God is taking you. I am going to finish the book. I did just get it, and I just started reading the PDF, but I am going to get it. But I want to just tell those that are watching and just tuning in, this is supporting Black authors. We want to support our author tonight. We want you to get her book. If you can't get her book, sow into her life. Do you have a Cash App?
I do, yes.
Okay, just give us your Cash App because we want you to watch your Cash App tonight. What is your Cash App?
It's $SJANA.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's easy, y'all. Her Cash App is $SJANA. Sow into her life. That's what we do here at Supporting Black Authors Book Club. We support. I always say that. If you don't know what the word means, go look it up. Support our authors that come on. And we want to remind you that we had Robert Reddick, Addiction, get his book. Standing on Trial, I Need to Survive by Gwendolyn Lester Carson. Get her book. We had Diary of a Masquerade by Pastor M. Queenie Green. Get her book. We want to support our Black authors. We had Healing Words by Mary Ellen Saganovich, who, by the way, is not Black. We do not just support Black authors. That's just the name of the club. But get her book. Okay, and we have Daddy's Girls by Angela Lavette Hawkins. She's a visionary. Get her book. National Prayer Book by Tenaria Drummond Smith. Get her book. Get her book. You know, this is what we do. This is a club. Oh, Dr. Teresa Harrison. Come on. Y'all know who she is. The Ultimate Flight Plan. Self-publishing. Get her a book. And you got to get My Daddy, The Devil and Me. That's my book. Buy this book. And while you're at it, we're going to have Matthew Knowles coming up. Destiny's Child, The Untold Story. You might as well buy his book. Be ready for that interview coming in October. You don't want to miss those interviews that are coming up in October. However, tonight we want to buy He Chose Me, a Yes by Stephanie Smith. Please, please buy her book tonight. And I want to tell you, I want to thank you so much for coming to Supporting Black Authors Book Club. I pray that you exceedingly and abundantly prosper in everything that you do. I pray that the windows of heaven will open and pour you out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive. And I'm believing God for your journey. We want to thank you for coming to Supporting Black Authors Book Club, Miss Stephanie. If you have a final word, let us have it now.
I just want to say thank you for having me again, and just want to encourage everyone that may be on a journey now to yes, stand to their yes, whatever it may be. It could be to God, to ministry, to a new career, to relationship. I just want you to just stay the course, to trust God, and to keep moving forward and don't look back.
Beautifully bright young lady. I thank you for coming to Supporting Black Authors Book Club.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you all who tuned in tonight to the Supporting Black Authors Book Club. Please get Stephanie Smith's book, all the other authors' books that I showed you. Go to the Supporting Black Authors Book Club page, like and share. Like and share. If you have a book or you know an author that has a book, feel free to drop your book. Drop your videos on the page. There's no stipulations. Just want to support our authors, not just Black authors, but all ethnic groups. Every author we want to support. Make sure you look for the upcoming interviews for October. I'm telling you, I got some big surprises coming up. You really don't want to miss. Thank you. Thank you. Like and share.